Listen guys, Homebridge Wholesale is looking for account reps and they've got great pricing on jumbo loans. If you don't believe me, all you gotta do is check. Click this banner right over there. And on with our show. PHH right now, the mortgage company, is getting a massive hose job by the CFPB. I mean, let's just call this one for what it is. It's a hose job. And here's how it goes.
In November of 2014, Judge Cameron Elliott found that PHH violated RESPA with kickbacks for loans closed on or after July 21st, 2008. The violation is, in one guy's opinion,
Now said judge assessed a fine of $6.4 million.
But then, and we've talked about this to nauseam, CFPB Director Corduroy ruled that the judge incorrectly applied the law's provision when assessing the penalty for PHH.
Shouldn't that be the other way around? Kind of like the judge ruled that, yada, 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 and not that the director ruled that the judge did something wrong. Right?
The director ruled that the judge incorrectly applied the law.
Okay, there's just no way that's legal.
All right, well, the judge is an administrative judge who's basically picked by the prosecution, who in this case is the CFPB. They've taken a page out of DOJ's book on prosecution here. In this little world, since the CFPB picks the judge, they have authority over the judge. So when the judge rules, you were bad, pay $6.4 million, the prosecutor can say, screw off, man, you're paying $109 million.
Is that right? $109 million?
$109 million.
From $6 million to $109 million?
Yes.
No way.
Yes way.
The CFPB, the prosecution, they added $103 million more dollars from the prosecution, trumping the judge?
Yep.
You're joking. No.
Not joking. It's true.
Okay, there is no way this is legal.
Yet, here we are. So the CFPB raised the fine because they claimed that PHH violated RESPA every time they accepted a kickback payment on or after July 21st, 2008, when HUD ran RESPA.
Okay, so a kickback payment here, guys, understand this, is really just a payment. And it's called a kickback because PHH had a relationship with a real estate company. Now, it's worth pointing out that, and get this, according to everybody involved in this whole thing, nobody was harmed. Seriously. Nobody was harmed. Did you hear that? Nobody.
And now, lost in the shuffle is the simple fact that all those who got loans, paid insurance, and went on their merry way of being homeowners got great market loans and great rates. Now, ain't that a song?
But moving on with this whole story, PHH disagreed with, I'm sure, absolutely everything, including a prosecutor trumping a judge. But anywho, PHH, well, they filed an appeal on this whole thing and, well, they won.
They won? Thank God, because there's no way any of that stuff was legal.
Slow down, Garay, because now we find that the CFPB is pushing back, claiming that although the order required PHH to disgorge $109 million, that amount is a small fraction of the kickback PHH received and is merely a disgorgement of funds PHH should have received in the first place. The subtlety is in the language here. The CFPB says funds that PHH should have received in the first place. Now, wouldn't you assume that they should have said funds that PHH should not have received in the first place? After all, they're being fined for these activities, and yet the CFPB is acknowledging that something in these payments was legitimate.
Okay, so one, first of all, they used the word disgorge like way too many times. And two, the CFPB said payments they should have received in the first place, meaning in between all their use of the word kickback, somewhere in there where these payments were actual real payments being made, which,
are you getting this? Nobody was harmed. It's not a kickback. Nobody was harmed.
But the story goes on. What's really in play is the idea of an MSA, a market servicing agreement. Can a lender work with a realtor and both benefit in the process somehow?
And not be at the expense of the consumer. And if they do that, Does it work to the consumer's disadvantage or not? Now, personally, I kind of like the idea of one-stop shopping. I do. I live on referrals of people that I trust. Don't you?
Speaking of referrals, here's one for you. If you ever go to Seattle, check out Paseo. They've got the best sandwich you'll ever have in your life. And then go to Radiator Whiskey for lunch. Trust me, you'll love it. Oh, and then get a home loan from, well, that one's tough.
Marty, Ryan, Tammy, Sean, or Rhonda. They'll treat you good.
Seriously, what's wrong with that? Nobody's harmed. The point is, with these MSAs, is that they're a situation where a lender and a realtor can work together to benefit the consumer.
And that can actually work. It really does work. But right now, we are collectively looking over our shoulders, not to determine if what we're doing is right or ethical, but if it's the right flavor of compliance for the day. And the truth of the matter is, we just don't know. And with the CFPB keeping the dogs on PHH, as we just saw today, we've done nothing more than continue to muddy the waters of servicing the folks who want to buy homes. Those being our clients.
It is muddy because in there the CFPB is saying, you know, there's okay, some of those payments were probably fine or whatever the case, but we just don't like the relationship, so we're just going to put the kibosh on the whole thing. You're going to pay us a whole bunch more money.
Yeah, you know, and like I said, and with you, we work on referrals. It's human nature to do that.
Right.
And to make the assumption that a realtor and a lender working together in collusion is going to be inherently a negative thing is, I think, wrong. It's disingenuous and needs to be looked at a little bit more closely.
I mean, I can see egregious issues where
Totally.
a loan officer says to a real estate agent, you send me the deal and I'm going to cut you a check for $1,000.
Totally agree.
That's completely wrong. That's a
Totally
kickback and that's egregious, right? But
Right.
in different situations, just the relationship just the nature of the relationship is cause for a $109 million fine. I mean, I don't know.
I don't get it.
It just seems crazy. Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts? Let us know down below. That'd be great. Forward, share, and subscribe for free in your upper right-hand corner. We'll see you tomorrow here on the National Real Estate Post.
Bye.
Bye.